housing officer, there's a whole great deal of things that we do. So we deal from anything for when new tenants move into the property, if tenants are having issues within their properties as well. That could be to little things like if something needs to be done, chasing up repairs or anything, if there are any tenancy issues such as occupants in the property. We deal with stuff like, we touch on stuff like the parking, antisocial behaviour, and then we do our visits to the residents. Those visits are antisocial behaviour visits, new tenancy or settling in visits. We carry out tenancy audits, fire safety visits. So we visited one of our tenants who moved into a property not too long ago, and so what we're doing is a settling in visit. What a settling in visit is just to make sure that they've actually settled into the property. Are there any issues with the property? Could be anything to do with repairs. Some residents don't have keys to the windows. It could be a small bit of damp that was, we didn't know about or anything like that. And it's just to make sure that the details that we have on the system are correct as well. Are they claiming housing benefit? They may do, they may not be. Is the housing benefit in effect? That helps with their rent status. If they're already in arrears, we'll address that issue as well. And sometimes residents just call us if they have any issues or anything like that, and sometimes if they just want to have a chat.
The housing officer, Chris, is the best housing officer I've had ever since I've been a council tenant. And that's been 30 odd years. Before I moved in here, I asked Chris a few questions and what had to be rectified before I moved in the property, and he made sure everything was all done and completed. And he's still on the ball now. Like I say, when I phone Chris up, if he's not there, I'll leave a message. He'll call back, talk about it, or he'll come round and see the situation I'm in, and he'll have it rectified.
I'm here at Redbridge Gardens. We received a request from a resident to remove the bench because it's been a magnet for young people, causes a bit of nuisance and some low level antisocial behaviour. So today I visited Redbridge Gardens to deliver a letter to all the residents, letting them know we received a complaint from a tenant, asking to remove the bench, and we've given all the tenants 28 days to let me know if they have any objections to this request.
I did a mutual exchange. That was the swap. I swapped with my dad, and we did a three-way so that the person moving to my flat needed a 2-bedroom, I needed a 3-bedroom, and my dad needed a smaller place because this was too big for him.
A mutual exchange gives a council tenant an opportunity to swap their council home with any other council or housing association property in the country. Yes, this was a three-way mutual exchange whereby one of my tenants moved into their dad's home. Their dad had a 3-bedroom house. He downsized into a 1-bedroom flat, which then meant the flat he moved into, they then moved into a 2-bedroom home because they had just had a child.
It's been life-changing. My children have the opportunity to play outside now. They didn't have a garden before, and the neighbours weren't very happy when they played in the communal gardens. So it's amazing to give them the opportunity that I had as a child growing up, because this is my house that I grew up in.
Benefits of mutual exchange, it gives the tenants the freedom to move home to a home of their choosing. So if they're currently overcrowded, they can move into a larger home. If they wanted to move to an area to be closer to family elsewhere in the country, that's an option for them as well.
The housing worked really well. Redbridge housing worked really well with my housing because I was a housing association, so they was a little bit different. But it went smoothly. It all depended on how enthusiastic the people were in swapping and putting in the papers and going through the checks and everything. But it's as smooth as you want it to be. I'd say definitely consider it because it can change everything. You could be not in a suitable property for yourself and you may just feel like you're stuck and waiting on a list, but actually there's lots of people waiting to swap and they've got the place that might be right for you and you've got a place that's right for somebody else. So I've heard of people even doing 10-way swaps, which could take a while, but in the end everyone ends up with their perfect home.
The main thing is to go online to their website, it's houseexchange.org.uk, register your details, and the system will match you with other people who are interested in mutual exchange as well. And you give them a call, and once you've found someone you want to swap with, if you speak to your housing officer, we'll take you through the process. It's quite quick. You could normally do an exchange in about 2 months.
Before I moved in here, I asked Chris before I signed the papers, and Chris told me it's a nice, peaceful, quiet area, so I took his word for it and he was right. So as I say, I've got no problem.
You do get a sense of community on certain estates as well. Everyone looks out for each other. And apart from that, the main thing I found is the Redbridge residents are actually really, really nice people to actually deal with, to speak to. They're really informative if there is an issue. You can have a laugh with them. Some of the residents are really great characters. Makes my life easy, and if my life is easier, it means I'm more willing and can be more helpful to the residents.